Okay, so here we are going to look at a 7-day itinerary in the British Virgin Islands. So let's jump right in. The first island is Tortola. This is the most well-known island of the BVI because it's one of the biggest, and this is the island where you're going to start your boat charter vacation. So the majority of our clients, when we're finding them a boat, they will ask us, Kelsie, where do I go? Who's going to help me? How do I get there? Don't worry, we will answer all of these questions here for you in this video. So Tortola, this is the island that you will be arriving to get your boat. If you are doing a bare boat, taking care of the boat yourself, then the boat will be in a various marina in this island, Tortola. If you are doing what is considered an all-inclusive experience, the majority of times that boat will be located in St. Thomas. But don't worry, we'll talk about that in a second. So Tortola is an island that is arguably one of the most famous sailing destinations in the entire world. The British Virgin Islands in general is one of those best kept secrets, but it's essentially not becoming a secret as we're sending thousands of clients down there every year and people are realizing how beautiful it is. So when you do a booking with Boat Jump, all of your details will appear in your Boat Jump booking confirmation. The time that your boat is going to leave, often it will be 12 o'clock noon. However, that's not always the case. So make sure that in your Boat Jump booking confirmation, you look for all of these details. There will also be information about where the base is of the charter company that owns your boat, what quay it's located in, what marina it's located in. So how do we get to Tortola? Let's talk about that. The most normal situation, what I would say 90 to 95% of our clients do, is they will take a flight from the US to St. Thomas. Why? Because this has the most international connections, okay? We have connections from JFK, Boston, from Philly, Miami. We can find many, many different opportunities to fly, and you'll go directly into St. Thomas. Then in St. Thomas, you will go through customs. And then if you're doing a bare boat, you will get on a ferry, complete the journey by ferry. You'll get on a ferry over to Tortola and pick up your boat. Or if you're doing an all-inclusive experience, you will pick up your boat right here in St. Thomas. So where can one stay in Tortola? Tortola has many different accommodations. Why? Because most clients will stay there a couple of nights before they might pick their boat up. This is very common. So recommendations that I would give you, Nanny Cay Hotel is very well known because Nanny Cay is an area where a lot of boats are held. We also have Maria's by the Sea. However, there's such a plethora that I invite you to go online and to check the booking websites and to see the availability and prices. Okay, and last but not least, how do we provision? This is a huge question that all of our clients ask us. How to provision in Tortola? Super easy, that's the great news. What I always recommend is Right Way. We have two options here that are very well known to sailors. Right Way is the market that we work the most with, and we send our clients directly there. So what happens? We will give you a link to go directly to Right Way or OneMart and figure out on the website how it works. Super easy, super fun. You get to scroll around and look for the various items of food and drink that you want to order. And we often recommend that it's 2 weeks ahead of your arrival date for delivery, no earlier, because you have to keep in mind this is, food that's being sent to your boat. However, around 2 weeks, maybe even 1 week before you leave, go online, send your provisioning order. It will be sent directly to your boat so that when you pick up your boat and you are at the charter company, they've given you the rundown of how your boat works. They've explained to you the procedures of the boat. You then have your food, you put it in the fridge, and you're ready to get started on your trip. So this is the start of our trip. So day one, where do we go? You can notice that we go south of Tortola and we hit what is one of the sister islands, the little sisters that are formed together. There are a string of neighboring islands and Norman Island is one of these. So after Tortola, we can sail down to this island, which is referred to as Treasure Island. Why? There is a lot of buried pirate treasure here, so we invite you to have fun with that. So moorings, let's talk about where you can moor your boat while you are on Norman Island. So look at this. We have over 100 moorings that are available for guest use in Norman Island. So this is a place where people will go directly from Tortola to spend that next day and to be out on a mooring ball and really begin their trip in a calm and fun way. So that being said, one of the most well-known harbors is the Bight. The Bight will offer you anchorages that are protected, so you feel like you're away from other boats and you feel like you can trust where you're at. And another huge thing about the Bight is that we have huge places for scuba diving and snorkeling, but hold on, I'll talk about that in a second. First and foremost, I want to recommend to you guys some restaurants. One really fun place that the majority of my clients have at least heard about is called Willie T's. What could be more fun than a floating bar? I don't think there are many things that are more fun than a floating bar. I absolutely recommend Willie T's. It is a must-do and a must-see. Next, we also have our Pirates Bight Bar. So we talked about Bight Harbor being very well-known, and you can find the Pirates Bight Bar. I absolutely recommend you the coconut martini. Okay, so what to see in Norman Island. So I talked about how this is a huge place for scuba diving and for snorkeling. So what can we see? We have what are called the caves. Norman Island is known for the caves. Why? These are amazing places to go to scuba and to snorkel, and they're right at the edge of Bight. So keep in mind Bight Harbor and the caves, and also Willie T's and a good coconut martini. Okay, so after day one, after Norman Island, we are going to slide over to Cooper Island. And Cooper Island is considered another one of the sister islands. So we'll slide right up and we'll go to Cooper Island, the second stop on our journey. So this is an island that's also south of Tortola. And we continue with this theme of snorkeling in turtle grass. We'll talk more about that. So moorings in Cooper Island. We have Manchineal Bay is one of the areas that has overnight anchorage. This is interesting because if you want to plan in your itinerary to be able to stay overnight, make sure that you keep in mind Cooper Island, one of the best places to do it. Also, it works perfectly because you can be seeing the sunset on your boat and then plan to stay overnight. There are some fabulous sunsets here in Manchineal Bay. So, super important. Where are the restaurants, Kelsie? Where can we go? Cooper Island. So, Cooper Island Beach Club. This is a fun little, almost mom and pop friendly beachfront bar area. It has 2 dinghy docks, which makes for easy come and go. And also we go back to the sunset. The sunsets are amazing in Cooper Island. I'm not really sure why, but the way that the sun is set, the way that Cooper Island is, the sunsets are pretty postcard-like. So make sure that when you're at Cooper Island Beach Club, you keep an eye out for one of those. So what to see on the island? So we talked again about how it's huge for snorkeling, and a place that really is going to get a snorkeler's heart going and their excitement arising is the archipelago, which is close to Cooper Island, that is called the Indians. The Indians. So basically, this is an area where there's a lot of underwater life and really, really popular to snorkel. Okay, so as you can see, we started here in Tortola. We've talked about how we pick up our boat, what we do. Then we've gone south, okay? We've gone south to Norman Island, and then we've hopped up to Cooper Island. So we were just here in the Little Sisters. And now what we're going to do is we're going to hop back up to what's called Trellis Bay, which is on this eastern end of the island of Tortola. So let's go. So, Trellis Bay. What is Trellis Bay famous for? Full moon parties. How fun are these? We have live bands, we have stilt dancers, and even in many cases, you'll find fireball displays. I have been fortunate enough to experience one of these, and I can absolutely guarantee you that it is a sight that you do not want to miss. It's a really fun time. However, don't worry, because if you're not in the right moment, you definitely have to plan to be able to go to one of these full moon parties. That's what your skipper will be able to help you to do. But if it doesn't work in the itinerary, don't worry. We still have a lot of fun local culture and really, really nice people. So where can one leave their boat in Trellis Bay? So we have a lot of different areas that one can leave their boat in Trellis Bay. Why? Let me explain. Trellis Bay is an area where most clients will go to if they're picking their boat up in Scrub Island. Scrub Island is an island just a small ferry ride away from Trellis Bay, where we have a high percentage of the fleet. So this being said, Trellis Bay is well set up for customers to go there and go to the grill, the market bar and the grill, or to do provisioning. Trellis Bay has its own provisioning element. So that's huge, because if you need to get new amenities, you're already on your trip and you need to stop here to re-provision, wonderful. Or if you're starting your trip here and going over to Scrub Island, you have the Trellis Bay amenities in the market to do so. So let's talk restaurants. Kelsie, where do I go when I am on Trellis Bay? So Jeremy's Kitchen, okay? Jeremy's Kitchen has quite a few fun elements to it. One of it is called their awesome sandwich. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. You're going to have to try it out and then tell me how you like it. And it's also really well known for brunch. So it's pretty much got it all, because you can read here that at night we have really fun parties, but you can also go there around 11 o'clock in the morning and have a calm family brunch. Really fun place to go. Okay, last but certainly not least, what can we see? What can we do in Trellis Bay? So I personally recommend Argon Studio. Why? This is a little area that really gives you a taste of the artistic culture and really lets you know what the people are doing there at Trellis Bay. So this is a great time to get souvenirs. If you have gone on your vacation, you've had cousins, you've had friends that said, bring me something back from the BVI, this is one of the places to do it, okay? We have a really cool representation of culture from the 60s and the 70s. So that was day 3. Now we're going to move on to day 4. So we're about halfway through the 7-day itinerary. So let's recap here. Tortola, we went down, we went up, we went back over to Trellis Bay, and now we're gonna hop back over to the easternmost part of the BVI in general, which is called Virgin Gorda. I'm sure that you have heard of this island. So the bass, this is what is the most famous about Virgin Gorda in general. And one of the really amazing bays, amongst many others, is called Devil's Bay. We'll talk a little bit more about the bass and how one navigates those. And really important to point out here that we have overnight anchorage as well. So keep in mind that we can plan our itinerary based on those overnight anchorages. Often my clients will not stay overnight in one area. They'll be on a mooring ball out there and then they'll continue on. However, if your itinerary wants to include overnight anchorage at a specific island, keep in mind one can do that at Virgin Gorda, excuse me. So Leverick Bay. This is the place that we just talked about, overnight anchorage place. Leverick Bay is a place to do it. And this is also really well equipped for being able to reprovision, to get ice, to basically it's a halfway point of your trip, and it's set up to be accommodating as such. Okay, so restaurants, where should one go? Okay, we have this really fun restaurant called Jumbie's Beach Bar. We can tell in this photo that people are having a really great time. So one of the fun things about this bar is it has a lot of live music and a lot of live entertainment. As you can see here, we have a guitarist. And so it's really fun. It creates a really, really fun environment for couples and families alike, for pretty much all ages. Okay, so let's go back to the bass. As we talked about, Virgin Gorda is known for the bass. So what exactly are the bass, you might say? I'm sure you've heard of them. So the name, the bass, literally comes from the fact that you feel like you are taking a bath. Look at this person here. They are just very tranquil, and they are just hanging out as if they're in their own bathtub. But the best thing about it is they are surrounded by these massive boulders that are actually scientifically called batholiths, which are boulders that have been brought to the surface due to previous volcanic eruptions. So you are able to be having this tranquil bath, very calm and peaceful, while you are surrounded by basically nature's beauty of something that erupted from a volcano thousands and thousands of years ago. So I absolutely recommend this area. I have been able to take a bath there, and I can guarantee you that the calmness and the peace that you feel is one like no other. So Virgin Gorda, let's continue on. That was day 4. So as you can see, we're farther up here on the eastern part. Right now, what we're going to do is one of our largest sails, okay, our longest sails, we could say, from Virgin Gorda over to Jost Van Dyke. So often people ask, well, how long is that going to take? So let's preface with the fact that in the BVI, as you can see, everything's really, really close. So we're not going to have long sails in the BVI. You're always going to be within sight of another island as you hop around. Virgin Gorda, you can see Spanish Town. For Peter Island, you can see Norman and Cooper. From Tortola, you can see Trellis Bay and Scrub Island. So you can always see you always have sight of land. In this sail, we have a little bit of a longer sail that will be roughly 2 hours maximum. It's going to be around 2 hours more or less of sailing time. Of course, one can do that in 2 hours straight, super fast. It depends on the type of boat you have. Of course, a power catamaran will go faster with the ability of the engine in comparison to a sail catamaran and a sailboat. However, keep in mind, rough 2 hours, depending on whether you want to be really speedy or take your time. So what we're going to do is make this sail over to day 5. Let's check it out. So day 5, we talk about Jost Van Dyke. One of the things that I want to underline here is the fact that Jost Van Dyke is a place to not miss due to very famous restaurants. We'll talk about that in a second, but also because you can see here, we have our mixture of vast vegetation. So Jost Van Dyke is a really interesting place to see. We've talked a lot about scuba diving and snorkeling. Jost Van Dyke, we can really get into this vegetation. If you guys are outdoorsy people, you're really going to enjoy Jost Van Dyke. And of course, we have famous restaurants located here. So let's talk about it. For moorings, we have our Great Harbor location, and Great Harbor has beautiful white sandy beaches. The beaches in Jost Van Dyke, the beaches in BVI in general are amazing, but in Jost Van Dyke, they seem to have this extra punch of white, awesome, really fluffy, almost feeling sand. So Great Harbor is peculiar because it's shaped like a horseshoe. So keep that in mind. If you see the horseshoe, you're getting close to Great Harbor. And this is one of the areas where one can dock or moor their vessel. So what you've all been waiting for, 2 of the most famous restaurants, and they are found at Jost Van Dyke. So the first one is Foxy's. Foxy's is known for strong rum drinks. If you love rum and you love it being strong, go to Foxy's. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It is definitely a local legend, as we have reflected here. And they've been rocking strong since 1968. So nothing's going to stop them, whether it be a hurricane, coronavirus, or whatever you may have. Foxy's is going to be running strong for you guys. So definitely make sure to check it out. I'm sure it'll be hopping when you get there. The second place, also very well known, is called Soggy Dollar Bar. Super fun. Why is it called Soggy Dollar? For that fun aspect of the fact that it's located directly on the beach, and often your dollars will be slightly soggy before you get there because you're out swimming, and then all of a sudden you want some alcohol. So you go, dollars are a little soggy, but hey, that's okay. They take them anyways. And they are hugely known for their famous painkiller. They make a mean painkiller. I have tried this painkiller, and boy, do I tell you, in comparison to other painkillers, this is one to write home about. Okay, so last but not least, what to see. So we mentioned before at the beginning, I mentioned a little bit about the fact that the beaches here have their own touch of beauty. And we have what's called Little Jost Van Dyke, is a really breathtaking location. These beaches, like I said, we have really white sandy beaches, and one of the really fun things about this is we have a structure that's similar, more or less, to the concept of the Bass, where we have these two twin towers that are two large rock formations literally rising out of the water, and they're 90 feet tall, so pretty impressive to see in person. And this is a really great place to anchor. As you can see in this picture, we have quite a few vessels here anchored, and then hey, you swim on shore, you got your white sandy beach. So Little Jost Van Dyke. Okay, so now we're moving on to day 6. So as you can see, we're hopping over, it's really close. And day 6, we are going to talk about the North Shore of Tortola. So often people expect Tortola to be the island where they pick up their boat and then end of story, nothing more. But that's actually not the case. So let's give some credit to Tortola. The fact that it's the biggest island of the BVI, it's the most well known because that's where everyone has to go to pick up their boat. But let it be known that around day 6, one can hop back over to the North Shore, and it has some really interesting things to take a look at. And one of the things I want to underline here is the North Shore has a lot of hideaways, so areas that are tucked away that really give you privacy. You're at the end of the trip, maybe you just want a calm, one of your last days, you want it to be really calm, head to the North Shore, and I guarantee you're gonna find a place that will allow you for privacy. So one of these places is Garden Bay. Like I said, it is tucked away, sheltered away here from heavy winds. And if you get there at a good time in the morning, you can get there and have a little bit of tranquility from other vessels as well. And hey, just like all of the other islands, we got good cocktails and we have live music, really fun. So restaurants, where is a place that I would personally recommend you? I personally recommend you Pussers at Myatt's, super fun name. And this restaurant has really done a good job of creating this ambiance of nature while you're on the beach, but you also have really beautiful vegetation. You can see this here in the photo, almost like this tropical sense right by the beach. So that, I got the beach and the white sand right there, but I also have almost this jungle feel. So I definitely recommend Pussers at Myatt's, and of course, food great as well. So what can we see on the North Shore of Tortola? So we have 2 cays that are famous. We have Sandy Cay and we have Green Turtle Cay. So both of these are great for seeing really fun animals, shall we say. You're not going to see bears, but you're going to see crabs and lizards are 2 of the elements that you can pick up here on the North Shore. And as you can say, Green Turtle Cay, it's named Green Turtle Cay because, hey, you're definitely going to see quite a few turtles. So that's why we recommend this place for snorkeling and for getting underwater, to be able to see those, to find those hermit crabs that are, in low water, even on the beach, and then to swim with those turtles that you might find. Okay, so we're almost at the end of our 7-day itinerary. Wow, vacation has gone by fast. So day 6, we were at Jost Van Dyke, and then we hopped over here to what is called the North Shore of Tortola. This is the big island of Tortola. You can remember we started here to pick up our boat. So now we are gonna hop back down to a little bit south of Tortola, and we're gonna go to Peter Island, which is also part of the chain of islands, okay? So we hop down to Peter Island because it's close enough to Tortola to make this our last stop, but also be off the island of Tortola so you're in a different location. So often the boat will need to be dropped back off at Tortola, sometimes at 12 p.m. noon. However, I would like to reinforce, check this on your boat jump booking confirmation, as that's not always the case. Sometimes it is necessary to be back at harbor the night before. However, that is dependent on a case-to-case basis and the specific vessel that you are chartering. So this island is really cool to finish off on because it's pretty undeveloped. However, there are a lot of wonderful hiking and biking trails. So imagine that you guys have been out on the water and you've got pretty burnt and you had a great time swimming, but you're planning on doing a nice hike and just sitting by a pretty tree. Peter Island is a place to do it. So let's talk a little bit more. We have Great Harbor is one of the most famous harbors in Peter Island. And this is home to, well, pretty close, neighboring Dead Man's Bay, so right next to it is Dead Man's Bay, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So the harbor itself is basically designed for last stop of the trip, go on a hike, come back to this harbor, spend a lazy afternoon tucked away, and then at the end, see a sunset like this. Spectacular. Okay, so restaurants. So what is a place that I recommend? You're on the boat, it's the last night, and you have planned a reservation at Ocean 7 Yacht Club restaurant. This place is super fun because I recommend that you definitely focus on the reservation. This is a reservation place. And you also have to dress properly because it's fancy. However, if you guys don't want to have this fine dining experience, you can always enjoy your last meal on board. So basically we have two options. If we've gone hiking, we're sweaty, we're gross, and we just want to be on board our boat, then perfect. You guys are close enough to Tortola, you have your last meal on the boat, and you enjoy the sunset. If you have taken a lazy day and you say, okay, at night we want fine dining experience, you make sure to reserve at Ocean 7 Yacht Club and make sure that you dress properly. A nice dress, a fancy suit and tie. I'll leave that up to you guys. Okay, so last but not least, what to see. I mentioned Dead Man's Bay, which is really close to Great Harbor. It's a neighbor. So Dead Man's Bay is named this way because of pirate ships and the 15 souls that unfortunately washed up on shore. So we have that legend, but don't be scared by that. This is a beautiful, calm place to be. And we also have really beautiful images of overlooking different islands surrounding you. So really cool place to go and relax during the day before your fancy dinner, or even at night to go and catch a sunset. So if you can believe it, we have made it through 7 days of fun in the British Virgin Islands. That being said, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope overall it's been very informative and helped you really get an idea of what your vacation would look like and what a vacation down in the BVI can offer you. So please reach out here to us at Boat Jump. We are here to make this kind of vacation happen, and we look forward to being able to work with you. Awesome. Happy sailing, and we will chat again soon.